Okay, we're going to etch the board. 750 milliliter Pyrex dish, 1/2 cup of hydrogen peroxide, 3%. I buy mine by the bottle at Walgreens. For one bottle cost $1.24, and I don't remember how many ounces are in it, but I can do probably 4 or 5 boards with one bottle, so that what's mine's was amount to 30 cents a board. And then 1/4 a cup of muriatic acid, and I've mentioned that in a previous video. I get it at Home Depot by 2 gallons, which is a lifetime supply for $16. Now I just put the 1/2 cup of hydrogen peroxide in first, then put the 1/4 cup of muriatic acid. You should do this in an open area. I'm going to do this here one time and one time only, so that I can film it correctly. Here's my board, and I'm going to try using electrician's tape here. Probably won't work, and what all that means is that part of the board gets etched. I want to remove this part of the board. My technique is, let me give you a timer here. Oh, and this is a 1 tablespoon measuring critter, and I use it to stir, and I'll show you. Let's start here. Put board in face up, and it generates a cloud of little bubbles here, and that's the hydrochloric acid reacting with the paper. And you will see, I think you can see that, where's my little critter pointer? You can see that the copper traces have turned from shiny to a dark reddish brown, and this is turning here, and that's the copper oxidizing, and it's going to dissolve away. In the first 5 minutes or so, this will take about 10 15 minutes. Let's give it 15 minutes. What I do is I turn this sideways and then take and gently stir the fluid across here, and you'll see that the traces the copper will brighten. That means I've washed away the oxide, and now I've got a new area exposed, and it will oxidize. And I want to do this for 5 minutes. Okay, I've been doing that for 5 minutes. Now it doesn't look like much is going on, but there is. Now I'm going to go and take the board and flip it over. Now this side is the hard part because that's a lot of copper. So on the other side I avoid touching the toner. On this side, oh, you can see, I don't know if you can see that there's a little green area around the edge. So this started, and that's where the copper starts dissolving away from the board the earliest. This side, I can touch the copper, and I'm going to use a little more agitation on the side, but not enough to spill it over the side of the dish here. And I'm going to do this for 5 minutes, and we'll see how much gets done. See how much I'm stirring here. What I'll do is I'll get a splash of water and do that, and that'll help some. But just I touch the board here lightly and then just move back and forth, stir it up. And you can see that the fluid's starting to turn green. That's the copper oxide. Let's do this for 5 minutes. Okay, there's 10 minutes, and you can see that this area over here has pretty much cleared out. I just have to keep this up probably another 5 minutes. I can do a board in 15 minutes. Now I'm going to flip this over. All right. And on this side, I can see the printed circuit board. And let me move this around and see if there's any copper remaining between the trace and the ground plane. And I think I pretty much got it, but I spend most of my effort on the back side because it's got the most copper. So, although it may be more expensive per board, you might consider getting one-sided boards because you're going to take just a small amount of copper off and be done. Also, if you're interested in thicker boards, I saw there is an 8-inch metal shear on Amazon for $83, I think. Weighs about 34 pounds. Now I have a 12-inch shear, but it weighs 56 pounds, so it's just huge and takes up a lot of space in the garage. But I use it not only for the thicker boards, but I also use it to cut 060 aluminum to make enclosures. All right, so at 12 minutes, we're pretty much done. There's still an area here. I want to make sure that I have no copper on this backside because this is the side the components mount on, and it'll also cause shorts, undesired conducting paths between components. All right, let me do this for 13 minutes. You see how kind of a light blue aqua green that is? Looks like now I don't somebody can write me an email, tell me where muriatic acid is used in swimming pools. Is it, I know you use it for cleaning stone, etc., but do you actually put it in the water in which you swim? All right, 13 minutes. So let's look at the board now. Now, don't do this, but you know, it's not acidic enough to hurt. Now, one of the things I do is I look at the water surface and I see little bumps here and there. I don't know if that's dust. You know, this looks like this maybe. Yep, that's some copper there. So let me work on it. Just excuse me, some area of the board had a little extra spot, but so it takes like 50. You can see it took me about 15 minutes. Now, I hope you're not cheap enough that you think you can use this to do a second board. Don't even think about it. It's not worth it, you know. 30 cents, 40 cents. You got 50 cents involved in the board, but you got 15 minutes of your time involved in this project, just etching this board. You're going to do it again on another board and it's going to take longer. So just what I do is to get rid of the bath, this leftovers. I just let it sit in the garage and evaporate. Then it leaves green crystals in the bottom. I just use paper towel and wear gloves and wipe it all out into the trash and send it to the dump. I think you can use, in the fluid state, you can use baking soda and neutralize it and then flush it down the toilet. But I don't like flushing things down the toilet, so there you go. I think we're done. Let me just spend another minute on this. It's good enough. There's nothing over there, but it just, you know, being a nit. Now, before you go and throw the bath water out here, hold your board up to the light, okay, and make sure, and you may want to go and get your magnifying glass and make sure that all the areas are etched, that there's no shorts, all the copper, and this is perfect. This board is perfect. 100 out of 100. Can't do better. And I think my little tape here worked. We'll find out. So I got the board etched. Now what I'm going to do, so I'll take the board out. Okay. Get a paper towel, wipe the fluid off of it so that walking across the house I don't drip on anything. I'm going to take it to the bath in the sink and go and wash it off and get it clean. Okay. There's still there's a piece. Anyway, so everything's clean. Don't touch bare boards like this at home. I'm just the village idiot. So this looks pretty good. I'm going to go get it cleaned. I'm going to let it dry. Then I'm going to go and get some painter's tape and cover this side. Just put 2 strips across there. And the reason is I'm going to go back out in the garage. I'm going to set this on my plywood board. Then I'm going to use my 3M pad, and I'm going to remove all the toner so that I'll only have copper, bare copper showing. Again, use a magnifying glass, make sure you got all the copper off, dust it off with no chemicals. You could use acetone and remove it, but I don't like chemicals. You could, you know, I just don't recommend it. Just elbow grease, okay? Remove the toner, okay? Clean the board with paper towel, brush, whatever. Make sure it's clean. Then what I do is I take it outside and I put a thin coat of clear Krylon on it, enamel. Very, 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 very thin coat. Serves 2 purposes. One, protects the copper, and then when I solder, it also acts like a solder mask. It prevents solder from going between the pad, trace, and the ground plane. I'll show you with the microscope. So that's it for this video, and this will be the last one today. It's 9 o'clock, but whatever. And then we'll be ready to drill and put the components into it and test it. So I know I've done a lot of videos here and it's a lot of time, but if you're just doing this on your own and not having to explain everything to everybody, it goes pretty quick. So that's it for this video. Again, please, likes, come back, and tomorrow I'll show you the coated board and then how to drill. Thank you.